أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد فأعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Once again, my dear viewers, welcome back to our program on MTA Kids Time here. As we already mentioned in our previous episode, we are discussing on a series regarding our Allah, the Creator, the Almighty Allah. And it is very essential nowadays. We see countless questions regarding the existence of the Almighty Allah. So we deem it necessary for us to involve or talk about this very important topic, because most often than not, even children at young age, they started questioning this and then they find it very difficult to get a satisfactory answer. So as a result of that, they grow in this way, so their belief in Allah Almighty is very low. So without wasting much time, as I said, we will continue on the same series, that is our God. And here is the book, my book about Allah. So without wasting much time, we will be starting our program with the recitation from the Holy Quran. So can we hear the recitation from Brother Ibrahim Kasama? Please give us the recitation.
السلام عليكم.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر.
Thank you very much. Can we hear the translation from Brother Umar? Please give Umar to translate the verses you have recited now.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
In the name of Allah, the gracious, the most merciful. By the fleeting time, sorry man is in a state of loss, except those who believe and do good works, and exhort one another to accept truth, and exhort one another to be steadfast.
Thank you very much. As I said, we will be talking about the existence of Allah Almighty, and then we have already mentioned countless questions that we are going to talk about. And in our previous episode, we talked about whether God exists, right? We have talked about this. So by the grace of Allah Almighty, in this episode, we will be talking about three very key important questions. And then we have to listen attentively so that we can able to grab them and then understand them properly. So in this verse of the Holy Quran, which is being recited here, you can see Allah Almighty. In the absence of Allah Almighty, everything is futile, it's meaningless, it's useless. That's why Allah the Almighty is swearing by the fleeting time, wal asr. And then he said, man is solely in a state of loss, except those people who believe in Allah. You must believe in Allah. Apart from that, Allah the Almighty count you among those people who are in a state of loss. But if you are among those people who believe in Allah Almighty, then solely you are safe. We don't only stop in believing in Allah Almighty, but then you encourage each other in doing good works. You encourage each other to be steadfast in whatever happen to you, being positive or negative on this earth, because you have the belief in Allah Almighty. So without wasting much time, we have three questions from here among us here. We would like to call on Nuruddin to give us the first question that we want to answer today. Please read us the question, Nuruddin, that we will be talking about.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Why do people believe in the existence of God without any concrete evidence?
Why do people believe in the existence of God without any concrete evidence? As I said, some people say, oh, you say God exists. Have you seen God? Is there anyone who have seen God with your physical eye? So somebody might ask you, then how can you tell us that you believe in God? You don't have any concrete evidence according to them. But then there are countless evidence. Even the Holy Quran, the verse that we recited here, or this chapter, shows that there is God. If you don't believe in God, then try it. You would see most often than not, those people are in a state of loss. They regret why they don't believe in Allah Almighty. So therefore, it is essential for us to know the answer to this type of question. If someone tells you that you believe in God, but you don't have evidence. There are some people who believe that religion is a secondary, in the sense that what I'm trying to say, they believe that there were a lot of deities, there were a lot of gods that people worshiping. So different people were worshiping the like of sun, stars, fire, moon, and the stuff like that. So people were worshiping this. So it was developing to a point. They say, oh, why can't we not just come up with one God? So you see, they started worshiping one God, unanimous. So in essence, that's what some people believe. They believe that it was man who started this concept about God. They were worshiping different things. It's either, for instance, if it's an animal, they worship animal because they are afraid of the animal. You understand? If it is a fire, they worship fire because they believe that that fire is something supernatural. They see the sun, how it is, you understand, miraculous to them. So they started worshiping the sun. Just like the father of Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam, they were worshiping stars and the things like that. But Allah, Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam, used the same evidence against them by saying that Hazar Rabbi, when he saw the sun, he said, this is my Lord. When he saw this moon, when the moon disappeared, he said, oh no, this cannot be my moon, my Lord, because my Lord does not disappear. And he saw the sun. He said, this is the greatest God that you know that is my God. Then when the sun also disappeared, he said, no, my God cannot be something that disappear. So he's just trying to show them that you cannot worship this. There is a super being that is behind this, that is responsible of bringing it out and then taking it and making it to disappear. Meaning, right, that is capable of bringing the sun out and also taking the sun to set. So this is that Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi was trying to demonstrate. So many people have this concept. So, but then in Islam we have a lot of evidence which shows that it is Allah Almighty who started. Religion started first. That is, the worship of one God started. Then eventually, religions become corrupt. They started worshiping different deities. You understand? But it's not necessarily like it was people who are worshiping different things. So one day they came up with this idea, let's now worship one God. No, this is never the case. So you can say that, like you asked a question, very important question. I was just giving a preamble. You said why people believe in the existence of God while they don't have concrete evidence. So you can see that, like, there are a lot of answers that we can get from this. We say, according to Islam, it is true to say that people worship objects like the sun or the moon first, and then gradually they started to believe in one single God. In fact, the opposite is the true. That's what I was saying, that people think that it was like worship of different gods that started before God Almighty. But then now, let's see the answer to your question. Please, let's listen attentively. Expanding the subject, this girl, as we were talking about, it was a dialogue, right? So a girl called Busra said, Islam has a very logical and deeply convincing approach to the belief in the Supreme Being as the only God and the only Creator. We have a very logical and a standard belief, understand, and evidence which shows that there is a Supreme Being, and then we can prove Him. In one chapter of the Holy Quran, it is stated, let's see this chapter 112, verse 2 to 5. Take note of this. Chapter 112, verse 2 to 5 is one evidence. Allah Almighty says, He is Allah the One, Allah the Independent, and besought of all. He begets not, nor is he begotten, and there is none like unto him. Number one, he is Allah the one. Number two, he is independent. Number three, besought of all, he begets not. He has no beginning, and then he has no ending, and then there is nothing that is like unto him. So these are some of the attributes of Allah Almighty, and then we are able to prove it. The concept of a single creator, he said, perfectly tallies with the study of nature. Just study the nature. You will understand that there is evidence that God exists. You cannot tell us that God did not exist because we don't have concrete evidence. Study this chapter of the Holy Quran. We talk about the unity of Allah Almighty, and then observe the nature. Then you will see there is a serious and there is a complete match of the two. It says the uniformity of the law, the uniformity of the laws of nature always point to the singleness of God. When you look at how the law of nature they are, they are uniform. You will see that it is trying to show you that there is a single creator who is responsible for all. For instance, if somebody is making, for instance, like Samsung Mobile, so you can see that their product is always looking alike. Because why? It is one company that is responsible of creating Samsung or producing Samsung. So you can see that their product look alike. You understand? So it's the same thing. When you study the law of nature, you will automatically see that there is very uniform nature of the laws. So that can only show you that there is a singleness in God Almighty. Because if there are a lot of creators, then you can see that there are a lot of differences and faults and other things. You understand? But then you don't see any flaws in the nature of Allah, the laws, and then the heavenly bodies. He said, this is the argument presented by the Holy Quran. He said, had there been two or more gods, what will happen? If there is two or more gods, then there will have been chaos in the world. Let's just look at the world. Because of, for instance, America is headed with a different leader, Russia is headed with a different leader, and Africa is some countries are headed with different leaders. What will happen? Are they always having the same agenda? They are not the same. Everybody is doing their own things. And that's why there are a lot of chaos, because everybody is proud of their own and they are not ready to listen to anyone. So if there were also different gods, this is the same that is going to happen. The other God will say that, okay, I'm going to take care of the sun. The other is going, the earth is mine. So you see, confusion will happen. But this has never happened in the creation of Allah Almighty. That's why you can see a uniformity. So that's why Allah the Almighty is telling us that if you think that I did not exist, just observe the law of natures. Observe the heavenly body. You understand? They do their things, they perform their function regularly without any fail. That is showing that there is one creator with the same objective that He created this heavenly body. That is why they are performing their tasks regularly, unerringly, and then they do it constantly without any fail. So know this. If someone tell you that, okay, you can tell the person, observe the law of nature, how the sun is rising from the east and going to the west. You understand? The moons come night time. The stars also come night time. And this is consistency from the creation of the earth up to now. You will not see any alteration. So this is showing that there is a single being responsible for this. And also you can tell them, if there were different gods that existed beside Allah Almighty, one God, you will see a lot of chaos in the world. This will not have happened. There are a lot of going to be chaos. Just like the world is divided into countries and you are seeing different chaos. So if there was also different God, the same thing that will be happening. So this is exactly what is going to be the proof. But then we have countless proofs. I said the entire Holy Quran is a proof to the existence of Allah Almighty. And when you look at the life history of our beloved Master Muhammad Mustafa Sallam and all the prophets that we learn, you can see that there is a support behind them. That's why they defeated their enemies. So because of there is no time, this is the only question we are able to answer. But then in our subsequent episode, we will also try to answer on different questions regarding Allah Almighty. Thank you very much for participation. Viewers, this is what time allowed us. We come to the end of another episode. We are talking about a very important question that was raised by Nuruddin Cham. It says that why do we believe in the existence of Allah Almighty when we have no concrete evidence? This is the concept of those people who don't believe in Allah Almighty. But this can never be the concept of pure Muslim, because we know Allah Almighty exists and He is one, and then there are countless evidence that prove in His existence. So without wasting more time, this is what all time allowed us. We come to the end of another episode. Until we come on your way here in MTA International Gambia Studio on MTA Kids Time. I was your host, Said Sambaso. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.